Hello and welcome to Reclaim Within. I am your host, Ash. My prayer for you today is that what we explore together today helps you to recognize this time as a turning point and as a time of both personal and collective consciousness upheaval and reorientation, so that you may find a greater trust and clarity within yourself to move forward in this time with intention and heart. We are, without a doubt, living through one of the densest periods of human history. There are so many different systems of cosmic study and ancient wisdom that point to this. And I think we just feel it and we see it. So much has shifted so quickly that it can feel as though the ground keeps moving beneath our feet. And it might feel like it keeps crumbling beneath your feet. And I want to offer you something today, a reframe. I love reweaving narratives. It's one of my favorite things. Because this is not random chaos. This, what we are living in right now, is the atmosphere of a renaissance. A renaissance always signals a turning point in the collective story. It is a moment when the old era completes itself and a new era begins to take shape. So today, right now, we are truly in one of those rare thresholds. We are in the between time. And the more comfortable that you can become with uncertainty, and the more connected you can become with being the author of the story of your own life, to be the co-creator, to be the reweaver, to be the imagination creation station, the more you will actually be able to truly contribute to these rapidly changing times. So let us dive in to what a renaissance truly is. During the last renaissance, old systems fell apart. Old ways of thinking could no longer hold the weight of what humanity was becoming. Life, as it had always been, simply stopped working, stopped resonating. And from that falling away came a surge of creativity, innovation, spiritual awakening, and new forms of connection. People rediscovered ancient wisdom. They remembered that human creativity is a sacred life force. It's a sacred force. Entire societies reorganized around a fresher understanding of what it meant to actually be alive. We are in a very similar moment right now. I have studied the cosmic language, the archetypal language of the cosmos for a really long time, and I've studied multiple variations of it. I've studied Porphyry, Placidus. I've studied Vedic astrology. I love the dashas. I've studied human design. I've really run the gamut in what I've dove into. There is something happening in the sky right now that I want to share with you because I think it gives language to what so many of us are feeling as undercurrents. But first, let's preface it. What I'm about to speak to involves what's called transpersonal planets. And transpersonal planets are not the ones that we interact with in our personalities as much as they are what shapes the atmosphere that we're in a more collective sphere. When we see cultural shifts and when we see fashion changes and language diction movements, it often points at these transpersonal, planetary, archetypal expressions. Because again, we're studying archetypal symbols when I speak about the study of cosmic alchemy or astrology. So what has occurred in the sky very recently in these last 3 or 4 months is that Saturn has met Neptune in Aries. This is a rare planetary event, one that has often coincided with major turning points in human consciousness. Saturn represents form and structure, and Neptune represents imagination and more ethereal or spiritual truths. And Aries, as an archetypal symbol, holds the representation of birth. So when these three symbols collide and start to energetically weave together, what we can pull from with these archetypal energetics is that the world is definitely not going to be staying the same. The outdated structures begin to dissolve. The dissolving is the energetic imprint of Neptune. The structures in themselves is the energetic imprint of Saturn. These have been colliding over the last couple months, so we've actually had some time to really feel this and see this. And we're moving towards a birth, which is the part of the space of, okay, well, what's outdated it's not going to exist in your ecosystem anymore. It's not going to exist in the way that you orient in the world. Things will just be falling away. And I think that it's actually going to happen quicker and quicker and quicker because of where the other transpersonal planets are in air signs right now. Truth is going to be continuously pushing up through illusions, and a new creative cycle is going to ignite, or it has been ignited. This is the essence of a renaissance, dissolution and creation happening at the exact same time. The old world and the new world colliding. You hear this a lot in the vocabulary in the world. I'm hearing a lot of people speak in this way. And even just that architecture of our language very much shows me these symbols alive and well in our as above, so below expression. I don't know about you, but I love the show Downton Abbey. My parents got me onto it, and I just fell in love with it. And they speak a lot about the old world and the new world, and in the turning of the century, 1800s to the 1900s. And the show and the movies do a really great job of showing how quickly things changed and how quickly they evolved at that old world, new world turning. That is where we are right now. That is what we're moving through. So we will continue to see structures and systems and ways of operating that once were. We will see them just dissolve and new ways coming into form. It's already happening. In LA, I guess they have self-driving cars all over. I don't live there, I don't go there, but it is a very big way of transportation out there. That is not how we've done things up to this point. In that Downton Abbey time period, it was horse and buggy, and then motor car just took over and everything shifted. So you kind of get the picture of what I'm speaking to. Now I want to speak to something directly because I think it is actually really important. A renaissance is not only a time of creation, it is also a time of clearing. Things fall apart because they can no longer carry the frequency of what is coming next. Systems stop working. Relationships in your day-to-day internal life, they're going to shift if they haven't already shifted. Old identities become way too tight, way too small, and they can't hold it any longer. What once felt stable begins to loosen. This is not punishment. This is not failure. This is not something going wrong. I actually wrote this piece originally back in the end of January time period when a lot of this started happening and Neptune and Saturn were first coming to touch in Aries. And I didn't want to release it. I didn't want to share it because I wanted to have time to actually feel into what this felt like in my own life and witness in the world how it works. I find astrology much more helpful when we look at it from a retrospective place. I'm not a huge fan of predictive astrology, not because I don't love looking at what's coming. I love that, but I never want to think that I know, because that is where the magic and the mystery gets lost. This is not a prescription orientation study. It is a archetypal, symbolic understanding of how we're constantly connected to so much more in our world than what meets the eye. There's so much to the unseen realms. So this renaissance that we're in this moment right now, this is an invitation. Whatever it is that is leaving our lives right now, that has been falling away, has been making space for what has the potential to grow. What is falling away culturally and also personally is clearing the way for deeper alignment. If you're in the messy middle, if you're like, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm struggling so hard right now, this is the worst, you see the world, you can't tell me this is okay, you can't tell me this is good. If that's how you're feeling right now, it's completely valid, but just know that's the messy middle. If it's not okay, the story's not over yet. That's a line from my mother. If things are not okay, the story is not over yet. We have to know that there's another side. And when we're in the messy middle, we can get stuck there. Reach out for support. Reach out to anybody for support. Reach out to me. I can connect you with so many people who offer support. It's my favorite thing. Support, support, support. I can support you. Other people can support you. What do you need? If you're in the messy middle, you deserve support. I digress. This year, 2026, is a really cool pinnacle moment. And it's a year that I deeply feel that we will look back on in our lives as a turning point year. I think 2020 was a turning point year. And I think that 2026 is going to be a turning point year. Okay, I want to talk to you about something that many of us are feeling underneath all of this change and all of this falling away and all of the dissolution of all of the things, maybe some really old dreams, maybe some relational spaces that we desired to be in, like who knows, right? But underneath all of this, there is a hunger that I feel, a deep and real hunger. Many of us have lived in a world filled with false connection. The kind that feels good for a moment, but it doesn't nourish us. The kind that is like eating sugar. It's sweet for an instant, but it's never totally nourishing. Our culture has been built on these quick hits of connection that aren't authentic connection. There's not any depth or presence or truth. If you do not have at least 6 people that you could call, that you know, if you called, they would call you back and they would be there and they would be able to be somebody you could tell your deepest truths to, and they would hold you in that and they would reflect you back to you and they wouldn't make you wrong and they wouldn't make you bad, then you do not have enough connection in your life. 6. I said 6. And I say 6 because I feel like one of my teachers, Rochelle Saliga, talks about how every parent that's going through the postpartum period needs at least 2 resources that they can go to, that they can be held, that they know that they can fall apart and collapse and be like in total care, be totally cared for by. But then she follows it up with, that's the very least. And I feel like that is the very least. If you have 6 people that you know you could call and they would be there in that connection with you, that is a resourced human. That is what it feels like to be truly resourced. So as these old forms keep falling away, I really feel like something very powerful is emerging. And I think it's coming from a lot of pain. There's a lot of hurt and struggle and we're trying to slough off this scarcity and this watching such wild things transpire in the collective consciousness and on like a more global scale. But I do feel like what's emerging from all of this hurt and all of this confusion and all of this pain and all of this dissolution is a desire for real connection, real community, real coherence, a new renaissance of relational living, I believe is rising. One that values genuine presence over performance. We are remembering what it feels like to build something real within our own bodies and with one another. And this brings me to what I believe is one of the greatest things that any of us can do right now. Become story makers, become storytellers, become the dreamers, the builders, the creators of whatever it is that is in your heart that wants to come out. Let it out. What is it that you dream of doing? That is the invitation right now. Let yourself start somewhere. We are being invited to create from deep alignment right now, to clear our own path so that we can participate in the creation of a world that is more connected and more alive, a world where meaning is not outsourced, a world where community is practiced, not just talked about. In times like these, it is so easy to focus on what is falling apart. So easy. But the falling apart is only half the story. Something new is arising at the exact same time. The question becomes, how do we participate in the coming together instead of only reacting to the collapse? There is always a choice. We might not have choice over what happens on a grander scale, but we can get swept away into the fear, or we can become co-creators, recognize that our bodies are getting swept away in the fear, learn tools to regulate your nervous system, to build coherence, to align to the frequency, the emotional frequency that you want to be emitting, to clear your circuitry in your body to become the conduit for how you desire to be feeling in your day-to-day life. That is what we can do. We can participate in this together. We can co-create with the universe. The choice is, do I let myself get tossed in the fear and in the reactivity, or do I see the fear and the reactivity as my path to reclaim my agency and my choice to actually be in the co-creation and birth the new world and create with the Renaissance and be the change that I deeply desire? This, again, is a turning point year. The threads of the future are being woven in the right now. Anytime you get afraid of what's coming, bring yourself back to this moment and ask yourself, am I fully here? What do I want to use my life force energy on? You can do anything. You can't do everything, but you can do anything. And what is it that you're calling, like your deepest calling, what is pulling at you? A really fun way to work with this, by the way, side note, if you want to do an astrology reading with me, I love to do astrology, human design, and I also love to look at your dashas, which is Vedic. But if you actually really are like, what is the thing that I'm here to like create and be a light in the world, and you're not really fully sure, if we go look at your charts, I promise you, you'll walk away with a deeper understanding of what it is that your soul wants your human experience to be lived like, lived through, lived within. I don't know how to say that. what leaves our lives in this period of time, I do not believe is meant to harm us, although we might feel harmed. Nuance, 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 nuance. I believe that at this time period, what it is leaving our lives, what is pulling away the structures that are crumbling, I believe is actually meant to free us into something that we can't yet fully see. It is meant to return us to our own clarity. We are being asked to realign, to simplify, to reconnect, to imagine again, to participate in the creation of the world to come. Movement, breath, and sound. You have your own healing tools inside of your own body. And if you get too activated and you feel like you can't use movement, breath, and sound because you get too activated, find somebody who knows how to build coherence and work with that person to the point where you feel like you can embody it yourself. This is a feminine map that needs to be transmuted, not necessarily learned through the cognitive mind, which is more of a masculine map. Those are great too, and those are very helpful. It's really helpful to be able to learn what your system is doing. If you're in a fight or flight response, if you're orienting towards survival, if you can track if you're in overwhelm or if you're disassociated, amazing. Those are really important steps to be able to understand, what do I do next? But the language of coherence is something that we develop through transmission and through co-creation. What I would love for you to walk away with today is that the Renaissance is here. We're living inside of it right now. We are not simply witnessing it, we are actively participating within it. And the more that we align, each and every one of us uniquely, to what is true within us uniquely, the more that we will actually help to shape what is possible for all of us. Every single person is affected by the work that you do to realign and to reconnect with your soul, with your truth. And no, it is not always a simple, easy path. It can sometimes be so brutal to have to look face to face in your own hurt and actually choose to hold compassion and to alchemize. To reclaim within can be a brutal process. And at the same time, the more you actually move through it, the more you gain connection to your soul and your path and your life. Just the being on the path of life versus the path of death, which is the path of disconnection and incoherence and dysregulation and dismissal. I'm excited about this Renaissance period, and I'm excited about what it could mean. Are we going to love all the parts of it? No. Are we going to miss some of the things that fall away? Yes. Is it going to feel a little scary how fast things shift and change? It might. The invitation is that whenever you find yourself moving into that darker frequency or that more fear-based frequency, that's the time to be like, okay, thank you, awareness, and how do I shift into coherence? How do I reshape this? How do I tap into my creative potential and build my reality into something else? Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for supporting this creative expression for whatever it is that wants to move through me. I am so grateful that I get to do this work, that I get to help people reclaim within. I get to help people build their own inner kingdoms and become sovereign individuals and reclaim agency over their lives. I'm so honored that I get to work with the people that are in relationships. Oh my gosh, it is so fun to get to build divine unions and then pass that on. Couldn't be anything more beautiful. I am so here for it. I love getting to celebrate and support people in creating the lives that they are dreaming of and they're craving. If you feel called to go deeper, become a paid subscriber on Substack, and you'll receive access to my monthly live Zoom calls where we're going to gather together and we work towards reclaiming within together. We'll go over the astrology, Q&A, and whatever the topics are of that month. Please reach out. I really love hearing from you on Instagram. You can email me. I'm on Substack. I am all over the place. Don't hesitate to reach out if you feel like it. I really love to just know, I don't know, what stuck, what did you like, what Did you not like all of it? And if you want support, like I said earlier, I do have a really amazing catalog of amazing humans and healers and communities that I have had the blessing of being a part of, that I can connect you with someone pretty much across the US at least, but even in Europe, I have some connections out there. So if you're desiring more community, more connection, you want to be a part of this renaissance, amazing. Let's do this. We're all in this together. It doesn't mean it's always going to be easy, but it can be a beautiful, beautiful journey. So many blessings to you with so much love. Bye.